The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
This is Beyond Confidence with your host, Divya Parekh. Do you want to live a more fulfilling life? Do you want to live your legacy and achieve your personal, professional, and financial goals? Well, coming up on Divya Parekh's Beyond Confidence, you will hear real stories of leaders, entrepreneurs, and achievers who have stepped into discomfort, shattered their status quo, and are living the life they want. You will learn how relationships are the key to achieving your aspirations and financial goals. Moving your career or business forward does not have to happen at the expense of your personal or family life, or vice versa. Learn more at www.divyaparekh.com, and you can connect with Divya at contact@divyaparekh.com. This is Beyond Confidence, and now here's your host, Divya Parekh.
Good morning, listeners. I know we didn't get a chance to speak last week. That's because I took some time to unplug. I was in Europe traveling in France and Spain. It was amazing, nothing short of amazing. And I'm back here, and I'll be sharing some tidbits and experiences as well. And one of the things I do want to share is that in France, we had stayed at this wonderful hotel, Renaissance, and something happened was that they were not able to deliver. And then in the evening, we come back to a room after taking the hop on and hop off tour, and we find this beautiful note. And it was such a lovely note saying that we want your stay to be the best one. And that simple note left such a mark. So folks, always remember the little things you can do for other people. The one thing that I always ask you is to finding that 1 hour every month to help others, no strings attached, is so powerful. So make sure that you find time for that. And also, I want to thank each and every one of you who have got our books, The Entrepreneur's Garden and Expert to Influencer, because partial profits from the book go to entrepreneurs all across the globe. And because of you, we have been able to help so many people. So folks, without further ado, I'm going to invite our guest today, Shelly Slocum. Welcome, Shelly.
Thank you for having me, Divya. It's so nice to be present this morning.
Wonderful. So, Shelly, if you can speak a little bit louder, that'll be great. And
okay,
we are going to get started in your early life. Do you recall any moment that you remember even today from your childhood?
Wow, my favorite moments in my childhood were with my grandmother. She lived in Wyoming, and she would travel to Colorado and spend time with us. And she was a kindergarten teacher. And she sang songs, and she knew poems, and she knew all of this wonderful information that she shared with us. And I think she was one of the greatest influences in my life.
That's good to hear. And I think so that's where you learned how to sing as well.
I don't sing very well, but I love to make up songs for my grandkids.
Oh, I have heard you sing a couple of lines, and you're really good, Shelly.
Oh,
So, Shelly, then tell us, as you grew up from, growing up with your grandma and singing songs, where did your interest take you?
So it's interesting. I had lots of goals as a young child, and it's interesting how your life shifts. I thought that I wanted to become a doctor, and my daughter ended up becoming a doctor. So I didn't. I went to college. I got married young, and I got into real estate, and that was my primary career. And it was a very fulfilling life as a real estate broker and helping people achieve their dreams in real estate. But it was so interesting that my daughter ended up becoming the doctor that I thought I would be.
Absolutely. So tell us your journey that instead of becoming a doctor, what did you become?
Well, I started out in sales right after I graduated from college. I graduated from Point Loma College in San Diego with a degree in sports medicine. And when I graduated, I was married, and my husband and I didn't have enough money for me to continue doing schooling. So I started in a sales job with an insurance company and kind of worked my way up there. And then, I had kids, and I became a real estate broker. And, it was a wonderful career. But one of the challenges with being a real estate broker, the good and the bad, is that it becomes a 24/7 job. People think that, real estate is an emergency. And if you're not available all the time, there's so many realtors to choose from that they can just, go on to the next. So I worked a lot of hours, and I really felt at a certain point that my kids were suffering because I was spending too much time working.
So you talked about sales. Tell me, what was your experience like in sales?
So, one of the things for me as a salesperson, I never wanted to be a pushy salesperson. I didn't want anybody to ever feel like I was putting my needs before theirs. And, I think I learned a long time ago that people have their radio station, their own personal radio station tuned into WIIFM, which is what's in it for me. And as a salesperson, that if I always had that in mind, what is in it for my client? What are their goals? What's the best thing for them? I just thrived in sales.
And that's the thing when you are thinking about it's how should I say that? Whenever you think about the other people, when you're thinking how you're serving and how you're providing value, it makes such a huge difference.
It really does. And, I was very fortunate that, I was, married. My husband and I have been married for 39 years. I married my high school sweetheart. So we had the dual income, which was wonderful for me because in sales it was 100% commission. So I didn't have to make a sale to have food on the table. And I think that really made a difference. When you're desperate in sales, it comes across and the people feel that desperation from you. So I think, I was very fortunate that I could really focus on their needs and not mine.
Absolutely, that makes such a huge difference. So, moving from sales, how did you end up in real estate?
Well, it was one of those things. It was a friend of mine. Their mom worked in real estate, and she said to me, I saw her at a gathering, and she said to me one time, have you ever thought about going into real estate? I think you'd be really good at it. And I said, I'd love it. I love beautiful homes. I love helping people. I think I would really enjoy it. And so I got my license. I worked with her for a couple of years. So I learned from the best, which was an amazing gift. And then I started on my own a couple years later. And, I ended up building a real estate team, which, has been very successful. And, it's been a very good life. It's been a very good life.
Wonderful. And listeners, we are just going to take a very short break over here. Shelly, if you would like to sign out and sign back in, that will be great because your voice is breaking quite a bit.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Shelly. Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear
So, thank you. Thank you, listeners.
us? Shelly, can you hear us? Hello, Shelly. I don't think she can hear us. I took us off live, so we're not on the air right now. I'll put us back on once we figure out why she can't hear us.
Oh, hey, Shelly. You cannot hear us? So, I don't know why she cannot hear us.
No.
Shelly, can you speak?
On.
No, speak. We cannot hear you either. So, Jason, what should we do? Jason? Jason. Jason. Jason, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sir, I'm literally watching.
So do you want Shelly to log back off and come back in again? You want to tell her that?
I mean, she's not hearing us either, and she's not looking at the chat.
So she cannot have access to the chat?
No, I'm here, Divya. Divya is good. Her guest.
Tell Divya
Let me call her
on the phone and tell her she has to check her
on her phone.
Yeah, call her on your phone and see if you can get her to switch
Like switch what?
her settings.
Oh, and settings to
Audio. Her audio settings. You
Okay.
go to that little gear box at the bottom.
Oh. Hey, Shelly.
Yes.
So can you like switch your audio settings, please?
I'm on an iPad, so what would you like me to do?
Jason, what should she do?
Can you send me your guest number in the private chat, and I'm gonna send it to Dean, and he's gonna give her a call.
Okay, 303-549-5029. So Shelly, looks like it is your something to do with your iPad. Usually we recommend going on the computer, because like you are completely breaking up. We'll not be able to put it on the podcast. We'll just keep it on YouTube.
I'm so sorry.
Did you see all the instructions that I had sent to you?
I did, but I just have the iPad. I don't have a regular computer with a. Is he calling me now?
Yeah, Dean is calling you, so he'll walk you through it.
So I put her in the green room, so
Well, I'm not putting this as a podcast anyway.
okay.
Like she was like cracking up a lot.
Yeah.
If people want to come on the podcast, it's important. Like, you can get a simple laptop.
Yeah, I think it's her internet connection.
It's like she's on iPad. That's why it's all so bust up.
Okay.
Because iPads are not notorious for not having good audio connections,
All right. She's on here. So I have her in the green room. So what would you like to do?
Well, let's just wait what Dean does with her,
He's on the phone with her right now, trying to walk her through it.
It's one, you are getting baptism by fire, so to speak.
Baptism by fire. Yes, he is. He's getting the scoop right now.
And actually, we have never had this problem before. It's always been
in the beginning of it was, she sounded fine. It was as the conversation started going, she started breaking up more and more.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things like audience doesn't like is the audio quality. If you have really bad audio quality.
Yeah, of course. That's video and audio. Those are the two elements you need.
Yep. And then I'm traveling, but I travel with my small microphone and my Logitech camera. I don't have good background, but
no, you sound good. You sound and look great.
Well, she'll have a smaller podcast, I mean.
Yeah, hopefully she figures it out.
Can she call by phone? Let's just do an audio otherwise.
Not with the video. Not with the video. I mean, she could technically just do a radio version. Are you traveling right now?
Yes, I am back in New York, like, and then I'm going back to North Carolina. I was out to Europe, so
What part of North Carolina?
Raleigh area. Have you
Oh,
ever visited there?
yeah, I spent some time in North Carolina.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're in Florida, right?
Yeah, I'm in Florida right now.
I heard that you're leaving, Jason.
I am, yes. I'm on to my next journey.
Where are you headed to?
I'm still staying in the same area. I just got a new opportunity. All right, I'm gonna let her back in once her video pops up, and we're gonna give it a try.
Awesome. Great. Thank you.
No problem. Her video's not on.
Well, just tell her it's okay.
Okay.
It's fine.
Hello, Shelly. Oh, wait, hold on. She's popping back up in another square. Hello. Your mic is muted. Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
But
I'm
wasn't
so
there an
sorry
echo?
this is happening.
Okay,
Okay.
no, that's good.
Sound great,
No,
though.
that's fine. But let's finish off. And Jason, you'll cut out all of this, right?
Of course. Yeah, I'll edit it and make it sound seamless.
Okay, awesome. So let's continue back on Shelly. And Jason, please cut out the portion where I said we are taking a break.
Yes,
If that's
of course.
okay with you. Okay, I appreciate that.
All right, have a great show.
Thank you. All right, Shelly. So you got into real estate, and tell us like a little bit about your journey in real estate. Shelly,
Yes.
tell us a little bit about your journey in real estate.
So when I started in real estate, it was a slow start because real estate tends to be that way. You have to build your confidence, you have to build your network. And, it took me probably 3 years before I became a really solid realtor and having good sales. But one of the things that I did right off the bat is I took a lot of education. I became certified in lots of different specialty in real estate. I took Graduate Realtor Institute, which is a GRI. I became a luxury specialist. So I took a lot of training so that I could really help my clients. And so that was really, it was wonderful. I hired a business coach after I'd been in business for 10 years. And that was probably the smartest thing I ever did.
Well, that's fantastic. And then from your real estate, where did your journey take you?
Well, I've been in real estate for over 20 years. And I had planned to work another 5 to 10 years. And out of the blue last year, I was diagnosed with non-smoking lung cancer. I had a smoker. We found it with a kidney stone. They did a CT scan and found a nodule in my lung. And it was, I never thought I'd be grateful for a kidney stone, but it helped me find the cancer early. And they removed the lower half of my left lung 1 year ago. And at that time, I decided, you know what? There's other things in life I want to do besides just sell real estate. And so it gave me the opportunity to work, which is coming out in this next few weeks.
I'm so glad that you're doing better, Shelly. And just to have gone through that must have been so hard. So tell us, how did you get through it? So, Shelly, he looks like you are freezing and lagging. And listeners, we apologize for the technical inconvenience. So we'll still continue with our conversation. So, Shelly, share with us, how did you get through this major adversity? Shelly, did you hear my question? Shelly. Listeners, sorry for the break, but we are going to take the break again.
Hello.
Tell us, how did you get through this tough journey?
Well, the way that I got through it was I wrote a book. And I had done a lot of this in the past when my daughter had a really traumatic experience. Every day when she would go back to work, I would send her an inspirational quote, and then I would add some tips on how she could apply that in her life that day with a love mom at the end. And so I had done that every day for months, and which created a little bit of a book. And my daughter said at the end of that, Mom, you should really put this in a book to help other people when they're going through a struggle. So once I was diagnosed with cancer, I took a leave of absence from my real estate business, and my team took it over, and I started putting this book together. And Jack Canfield, the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, wrote the foreword for my book. And he said it's like a warm hug in a book.
That's beautiful. So tell us, how can moms create uninterrupted time for their children at bedtimes?
Well, that was something that I did with my kids early on when I felt like they were suffering because I was working so much. I ended up doing what we called 15 minutes with mom. And every night, I had two girls, and each night we would do one-on-one time, 15 minutes each. And the rules that we put in place were what made it magic. There were no electronics. It was only 15 minutes. So we had a timer that was not our phone, and we'd set the timer, and they got to choose whatever they wanted to do during that 15 minutes. And we would sing songs, we would talk about gratitude, we would read books. And then as soon as the timer went off, I went into the sister's room and spent 15 minutes. And 15 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, but one-on-one time, 15 minutes, every night that you're home, it's an amazing thing, and kids count on it.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is that it's not that much of a time. So if
Right.
busy entrepreneurs are extremely busy, or if you're a working mom or a working dad and don't have much time on hand, 15 minutes is something everybody can take out and share either with their friends. And this technique could be used for anyone, where you are
Right,
having
right.
that uninterrupted time and attention. So in today's kids, there's a lot of delayed gratification, not present. Everybody wants instantaneous gratification. So share with us, how could parents instill that discipline where they're okay with getting results after some time?
Right. I think, I don't know if you ever remember seeing the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and the little girl, Veruca Salt. I want it now. And, I remember not wanting my kids to be that way, that I wanted them to work hard for things and set goals. And, like my kids wanted to get their ears pierced when they were young. And I said, well, that's kind of a big thing. How about if you set a goal, and once you achieve that goal, then you can get your ears pierced. And I just think, you can do it small things, if whatever your kids want, say, all right, let's set a goal. Once you achieve it, then you can have that. And then you can set bigger goals as they get older. But it really helps them learn that delayed gratification, and I have to do something in order to get something.
No, that's wonderful. So Shelly, you have shared some very cool nuggets. Thank you for that. And share us where people can find your book and how can they reach you?
Well, my book is coming out in the next week, and you can connect with me on my website, which is spelled out loveandinspiration.org, O-R-G.
Well, wonderful. And do you have any last words around how can people bring in success and happiness in their lives?
You know, I think our life and happiness is what you make of it. And I think people think that happiness is an all or nothing, but that's just not true. You can be a little bit happy even in tough times.
So true. Thank you, Shelly. And it was a pleasure speaking with you. And listeners, be well, stay strong, and reach out to us with any questions you have. And we look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday at 10 a.m. in the morning. Okay, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you for being part of Beyond Confidence with your host, Divya Parekh. We hope you have learned more about how to start living the life you want. Each week on Beyond Confidence, you hear stories of real people who have experienced growth by overcoming their fears and building meaningful relationships. During Beyond Confidence, Divya Parekh shares what happened to her when she stepped out of her comfort zone to work directly with people across the globe. She not only coaches people how to form heart connections, but also transform relationships to mutually beneficial partnerships as they strive to live the life they want. If you are ready to live the life you want and leverage your strengths, learn more at www.divyaparekh.com. And you can connect with Divya at contact@divyaparekh.com. We look forward to you joining us next week.